All right. So it says that I'm live. And so I just wanted to give a quick little story, a couple scenarios that have came up within the last year, and both of them are extremely scary. The first one was a real estate agent um, that works for EXP, had a property under agreement. They were representing the seller. The seller ended up basically going all the way to the closing table. Um, they somehow negotiated that the buyers were going to prepay for the seller's moving costs so that way they can move out of the house completely and move somewhere down south. So seller was gone, and then the buyer ended up paying for that. They put money in escrow. The seller left. The attorney paid the uh, the seller, however they did it, either wired the money or sent the check. I don't know the logistics of that, but basically what had happened is the seller was supposed to come back for the closing, and they never came back for the closing. They just kind of booked it, hightailed it out of there, and they were gone. So just be careful with that. That's a huge lawsuit that's going on right now, and you know the person, out of respect, that was the real estate agent representing them. I mean, they got screwed just as much as everybody else in the transaction. The buyers, especially, coming out of pocket specifically in order to um, compensate and help out the sellers, thinking that they're doing the right thing to just try to make sure everybody's happy and working. Um, the attorney's working hard and everything. So that's a huge lawsuit going on right now, and I don't want to be in the middle of that or anything like that. So just trust but verify as a real estate agent, as a buyer, as a seller. You don't know who's on the other side of the transaction. You don't know what attorney you're working with, if they have ties to that buyer or seller, the other real estate agent. You don't know who's in it. Um, so trust but verify absolutely everything, and make sure you have documentation on everything. You're doing background checks. You're making sure people match up to the license that says who owns the property, um, etc. So that was the first story. The second story. This is very interesting. This actually just came about within the last couple weeks, and it was somebody that I ended up meeting just by door knocking, and they're very friendly. Talked to them for quite a bit, and they had a vacant lot that was for sale. I'm sorry, they had a vacant lot. It was not for sale, and it was right around the corner from where they were living. Somebody drove by the lot, one of their neighbors that they know, and I guess there was a for sale sign, and they never signed off on it or anything. So basically, what had happened is she went over there, took a picture of the sign, called the brokerage. The brokerage said, "Hey, I have a license with this specific name on it. Um, the face and the picture matches the guy that I'm speaking with. So I don't know who you are, but this guy is who he says he is. He's the owner of the property." The people that actually own the property said, "No, my husband didn't acknowledge this. I didn't acknowledge this. I don't know what's going on here. You need to take it off the MLS immediately. We're not selling this thing." And the brokerage obviously said, "Well, I can't verify you are who you say you are. So I'm not going to take it off the MLS." So the attorneys got involved. And basically, what had happened is there was a scammer, somebody, I don't know who it is or whatever. It's being investigated right now by the FBI. And they ended up taking a picture of themselves and somehow they got a hold of this gentleman's expired license, and they Photoshop like their face onto this expired license, and they used that as a form of identification to prove that they were the owners of the property. So I guess the lesson here is, just be very, very careful out there. You don't know who you're dealing with, and imagine if there was a buyer, somebody that was about to spend thousands of dollars on this property, pay cash for it, whatever. They have a mortgage on it. This is another big reason why you got to make sure that you buy title insurance too, just in case something like this happens. People miss things. Um, Mistakes happen, but the more you protect yourself through insurance, through your team, making sure that you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's, verifying everything, the better you are going to set yourself up in the future for success and not to be scammed. So, yeah. Long story short, it's being investigated by the FBI right now, and hopefully they crack down. They find out uh, who is responsible for this, and I hope they're probably going to get put away for quite a while. But just a very, very scary thing, because imagine buying a property. Like, you go through the entire transaction, you go to buy the property, you spend, say it's $100,000. You buy the property, you go over there, you start leveling it, you clear it out, the entire lot. You go to get plans to build, you spend thousands of dollars uh, worth of building material. You get there, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, "Hey, what are you doing on my property?" Like, imagine the altercation that could have came way had it gotten a little bit further. But thank goodness that the people that actually owned the property lived right around the corner, because if they had not, nobody probably would have even noticed, and nobody would have said anything, batted an eyelash or anything. So these people got extremely lucky in a situation where they had people watching out on their lot and knew that somebody owned that lot in the neighborhood. So if there was going to be one lesson here, I guess that's it. Just on your vacant properties, just make sure you have somebody kind of going over and taking a look, making sure that nobody's doing anything like this, because that can definitely turn into something very, very scary very quickly. And that's it. So that's my late night chat. It's now 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in Western Mass in my parents' house because I'm visiting, and I just forgot that I didn't upload this video. So here I am. Thank you, and have a good night.